Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am answering your assumptions about me and letting you know if you guys are right or wrong. I asked you guys on Instagram if you could pick one more video for me to do in the month of September, what would that be? And to my surprise, I got a few requests for an assumptions video, and I haven't done one in a while, so I thought it would be fun to do one today. Before we get into the video, I wanted to mention that today's video is once again in partnership with ANA LUISA. I am wearing these adorable earrings from them today. I also shared a few more in my last video, and I'm going to put a link below for 10% off of your order from ANA LUISA. They are a sustainable jewelry company, and I think that their products are absolutely adorable. So make sure you check out that discount code below. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so I got like literally half of the questions are repeat questions. I have pages and pages and pages of the same question, which will be the first one that I answer. So I'm gonna try to make this short and sweet. This shouldn't be too long of a video, but I would make coffee just in case because you guys know me and I like to talk. The very first question that I got like 30 of was something along the lines of either you are patient, or you never yell, or you never lose your temper, or you are, you never yell at your kids, or yeah, just literally tons of you never yell or you are patient. So my answer to that is I'm not a yeller, but I do something equally as destructive, if not more so in my opinion. I am a dismisser. Like when I am overwhelmed, I dismiss my kids. I am like, oh cool, okay, go play, or oh, go play, or oh, I don't have time right now. I do that. And that is like a self-protective defense mechanism when I'm about to break down. And I know a lot of people yell for that same reason. Like you just want to make the situation end, right? So that is why you would yell, or that is why you would like try to escape. So for me, that's my escape, is like just shutting down. That being said, I've come to learn what the triggers are that cause me to kind of break down or shut down like that. And for the most part, it is seriously like 99% never because of my kids' behavior, and more because of how I'm feeling or what the environment is, things like that. So one, I'm easily overwhelmed, like sensory overload. I'm way easily overstimulated. And so if I were to shut down and either want to yell or want to just like, make everything go away, it's because there's too much noise happening. Two, I have too much on my schedule and too much on my plate. And so naturally, the first people that I try to get off my plate are my kids. And again, like when I just want to dismiss them or tell them to go play, or kind of not be interested in what they're wanting to engage on. So it's like, it's a sensory overload, or it's a too much on my schedule, too much on my plate, or just, anything that falls into those categories. So do I yell? I don't know who doesn't yell at some point in their weeks with their kids, but for the most part, anytime that I lose my patience or want to kind of just like shut down or lose any kind of self-control as far as my responses to my kids, it is because of my own doing. I think that those things about me would be true whether or not I was a parent. So parenting just kind of brings them out, and it refines you a little bit faster. But if I was in a workplace, I would probably handle things the same way for the same reasons. So it's just being a stay-at-home mom gives you lots of opportunities to work on some things that you struggle with as far as patience goes. And so there's my answer for that. Okay, next assumption, you were homeschooled. No, well, yeah, I was homeschooled for like half a semester in second grade because we were moving. But my brother was homeschooled all the way through. My mom was an awesome homeschool mom. I was not homeschooled. I'm a product of the public school system, and I actually don't have anything negative to say about my experience. I assume you are a yes mom and you never yell. I am a stop and think before I say no mom, but I'm not a yes mom. I definitely have boundaries. You are incredibly self-disciplined and self-motivated. I am very self-motivated and self-disciplined. Again, might be like a defense mechanism to keep me from just like falling back into feeling apathetic about everything. But yes, I am self-disciplined. I never yell, never get angry. You are not shy. I am not shy, but I was terribly shy up until my 10th grade year. And just something clicked and changed. I think we moved right before then. I kind of had a fresh start, an opportunity for a fresh start, and I jumped at the opportunity, and no. But I mean, I'm talking like I was shy to the point of like, if I had one-on-one, you know, if my teacher came over to help me with something in elementary or middle school, I couldn't even speak up loud enough for her to hear me if she had her ear right by my mouth. Like I was painfully shy. You don't let outside noise bother you. I think that anytime that, no, I don't let outside noise bother me for the most part. I think that that is just something that as I gain more confidence in my identity in Christ and I see like my total acceptance by Him, I care less and less and less about what the world thinks about me or what the world's opinions are. That being said, I'm also really kind of an empathetic type of personality, so I have to guard my heart because that kind of outside noise could very much get to me in the sense of like tugging on my heartstrings where it's maybe not my place. So I have to be careful about that. So that would be my answer for that. You don't let outside noise bother you. I mean, I had some situations this year where I was getting a lot of angry messages online. People who were really just, you know, who were making judgments about my character, and it was hard for me. So of course that bothers you when people are like being mean, but at the same time, what that produced in me was a desire to wholeheartedly pursue Christ in, you know, even in my social media life. So outside noise can bother you, but it's not always a bad thing. If that stirs up a desire for you to pursue Christ more or to bring that to the Lord, that can actually be a good thing. You've never lived outside of Florida. Nope, I was born in Waukegan, Illinois, just south of Kenosha, Wisconsin, which I never thought I'd live to see the day where that area was on the news. It's very quiet for the most part. And I lived in the Chicago area, 2 different parts of my life. And then I've also lived in Miami, which is part of Florida, but it doesn't feel like it. It feels like its own world. And now I live on the East Coast of Florida. Okay, next question is, I assume that you never struggle with your kids wanting to have TV time. And my only answer to that is by the grace of God, because you know, I didn't set out when my kids were toddlers to like be anti-TV time. However, I think I mentioned earlier maybe that I am super easily overwhelmed by like sensory things. And so I never have the TV on, like running constantly. And so I didn't when they were little. And so therefore it just wasn't kind of like a foundation in their lives at all. We've been doing like imaginative play and open-ended play since they were very little because I just can't handle the input. So that assumption is correct. They don't want TV all the time. They don't ask for TV ever. We do have family movie nights. And sometimes Sean and I watch TV when they go to bed, but no, it isn't something that, it wasn't a building block of their childhood. But however, that was not intentional. It just so happened to be that way. You are a good Christian, a model Christian. Thank you. I hope that when people have interactions with me that they feel the love of Christ, but I am a human being, so no, I'm definitely not a model Christian. You're super organized like grade teacher style. Nope. I am super disorganized in my own house. As far as like structure and routine go, got that one in the bag. Organization physically, no, not at all. Your kids don't hit each other. No, my kids have never been hitters or biters. I've had friends whose kids are, and I think they're amazing parents. Sometimes you just get what you get. I didn't get hitters, I didn't get fighters. I did get criers and whiners. So that's fun. We've had plenty of nights where we just like, you know, God, why is this the thing that our kids do? But so yeah, they don't hit each other, but they like emotionally can like hit you when they are whining or crying. So that would be kind of more of the parenting struggle we've dealt with. You always eat healthy, or do you have a secret snack stash hidden somewhere? I try to make my decisions when I'm at the grocery store, but that being said, when we eat out, I never make the healthy choice. So I just try to limit how much we eat out, because then I can give myself permission to not have to make the best choices. But at home, I mean, there's always a little something sweet you can use as a pick. We've always got chocolate chips somewhere. So like I'll mix like chocolate chips in with my yogurt and feel like, you know, lie to myself, tell me it's an ice cream. Is it healthy? No. Is it unhealthy? No. So I'm in between. That's where I'm at. You are an Enneagram 3. Yes. How did you know that? I am. I don't remember what that means. I don't know anything about that, but I did take the test last year. It said I was a 3-wing 2, so it must have been accurate because you guessed it. So why am I, how can you tell? What makes you know that about me? I don't understand enough about that. You have always planned to homeschool. No, my education, I went to school to be a teacher, but I assumed that one day when I had kids, I would teach in my kids' school. I just didn't think that my kids' school would be my house. So, okay, next question is, you are politically conservative. I fall right of center, definitely. I am, you know, a Christian who values the teachings of Jesus and strives to be a steward with every resource he has given me, whether that's financially or my time, but it's also my vote. That being said, I have never actually been registered to one of the 2 major political parties. I am kind of just naturally a skeptic, and so that has in some ways served me well, in some ways it has not. I think I have done a lot of repenting for things in my life that I just immediately shut myself off to because it was part of a major political system or institution, and that's kind of where I'm at in my life right now. You know, John and I recently experienced a lot of church hurt, specifically regarding politics, and so we left our church and we have rejoined like a traditional church, and it has been very freeing. But we're also seeing how many ways we got it wrong, based on the teachings of somebody who was, you know, very politically divisive, and it hurt, and it hurt people, including us. And so, you know, I remain a skeptic as far as like church and politics. However, like I said, I do strive to be the hands and feet of Jesus, both in my vote and in my daily life. And that means a lot of the times, you know, not following the same approach that I see from major political parties, because I think that there are stories and there are real people in the gap between one vote or the other. And so, you know, I was raised by people who were, you know, my parents were hippies in Chicago in the 60s and 70s. They were part of the Jesus People movement. They have always modeled what it means to stand in the gap and kind of radically love people. And so because of that approach, I haven't always necessarily fallen along party lines in everything, but I do very much value the sanctity of life. And so to the world, if that means that I identify conservatively, then yes, I am conservative. But within the conservative world, I don't necessarily agree with the approach always. And so I'm somewhere there. That's my answer. You are, no, I already answered that one. You don't have days where you sit around and get nothing done. That is not true. I definitely do, especially like hormonally, need to sometimes, but it doesn't float my boat. Like self-care days for me are more like physically active and stuff than sitting around, but that doesn't mean I never do. But I do have to be careful because I think I can slip into being very apathetic about things in general if I do that too many days in a row. You run a pretty strict home. Yeah, I do, but I'm not in a way that not in a way that like, yeah, I do. I don't know. I feel like the strict in our home is for the purpose of serving our kids and their future, not for serving our desires as parents. We don't run a strict home because I want a clean house or because I want, you know, things to be easy. We run a strict home because there are certain character traits and habits that I want to see serve my kids well, and I only have a anyway, I was just saying before my camera stunk out on me that I only have a very short period of time to do so. let's circle back to that political question, because I see it here again, and I just wanted to say one more time that I don't have it right, and I'm not confident yet enough to speak on certain things. The things that I'm very confident in, I do speak on. And so I just don't want anyone to feel like by me saying I haven't always fallen along party lines that I'm denouncing those party lines. I'm just saying that I have a lot of, you guys are seeing my life unfold in real time, you know, and what I share is just my authentic journey with Christ here. And so I don't want to come across as being like hurtful in the way I say things. So I'm not denouncing, you know, anything. I'm just saying like that I am, this is just me. Things are church hurt and different experiences because of politics and things like that have made that something that I very much wrestle with regularly. But what you guys can trust is that I'm always pursuing and always asking Christ to lead me in things. And so that is all I can offer as far as that question goes. So there is that. Okay, next question. You don't curse. Our next assumption, you don't curse. Unfortunately, I do on occasion allow things to come out of my mouth that I allowed into my heart way back long ago. And unfortunately, that's just the reality of sinful nature and the, you know, wages of sin being death. Like there are real life ramifications, is that the right word? For behaviors that we allow in before we even know what we're doing. So important to help our kids, the middle and high school kids, guard their hearts, because that will be something that will follow them in through their 30s, 40s, 50s, what they allow into their lives as young adults. Last question. I assume you love having your toes in the sand. It's like you know me, you guys. Of course I do. Christmas Day or the middle of the summer. I love where I live. I love the ocean. I love the beach. Yes, 100,000%. I love having my toes in the sand. So those are my answers to your assumptions. Let me know down below if anything surprised you. Be nice. I know there were some polarizing topics in here, but I know we can all handle ourselves, right? So thank you guys for allowing me to take up some space in your day today. I hope by being vulnerable in a few areas that I wasn't expecting to be, that it maybe gave you some comfort in your walk with Christ as well. And I will see you guys soon. Bye guys.